So it sort of illustrates the basic concept of the sound of the blues. And then I did some alterations. I call it polychromaticism. When you practice your whole life, right? I've been playing for 55 years, so when you've practiced and worked on your music your whole life, then all the music sort of comes together and there's no keys, right? So you can play through all the keys while you're in all the keys, right? And it gives it that expanding kind of sound where it floats and flows, because I'm playing in and out of keys, but it's still the same energy and it's still the same mood, the same feeling. Blues is a feeling. Blues is a consciousness. Blues is an attitude. It's a way of life. So, you know, I can tell you about the notes I play, but it doesn't matter, right? What really matters is the feel of what I play, the sound of what I play. And the people that I listened to growing up, they were aware of that, you know, and they were into the sound of the music, you know. I tell people, when you play music, you don't play music, you become music. And there's a spirit of energy that comes through us. I tell people that God sings through us because the spirit of the music comes through us and comes out as music for you. It's one of the ways that the Holy Spirit brings peace and harmony to the earth. The Holy Spirit is working through us all the time, right? For musicians, for our choice, for art, for the dancer, it's the dance, right? For the singer, it's the song. For the musician, it's the sound. It's the sound of the music. And the Spirit comes through and comes out of us, right? So basically what we are tools of the Spirit to bring peace and harmony to the earth. So our consciousness and our job as musicians, when you recognize you're a tool, then you realize that your responsibility is to be the sharpest tool that you can be, so that when the Spirit comes through you, there's a minimum of resistance, right? So therein lies the practice. That's why we practice 3 or 4 hours a day, right? Is so that when we come here to play our music for you, I don't have to think about whether this instrument is going to work. I don't have to think about what the note is going to be or come out or whatever, because you're prepared for this energy to come through you and create. And so that's the process. That's what we do. That goes way, way, way back, right? This is ancient, older than ancient. You know, it's a part of what we are. And like Vasai was saying, when you hear the groove, when you hear the heartbeat, when you hear the notes bend, it's appealing to our primal reality, to what is real, to what we are. We're all a part of the same energy. We're all a part of the same vibration. Everything is vibration. So when this music touches you, it's touching a common bond that's between all of us. That's why you go, whoo. You know, did you ever see E.T.? E.T. was a little guy, and he had that little heart thing, right? And then he got weak, and it started to go down. Well, everybody, we all have that little heart thing in us. And no matter how much we cover it up with crap, no matter how much the economy or the politics or life in the world covers up what we are with stuff, way down there, there's this little thing, right? And when it's touched, it lights up. And that's what we recognize. That's what you hear in the music, you know. That's the common bond. So when we play, that's what we do. Blues, you can do blues. Blues is two notes. It's a minor third. But it's the notes, and it's the sound, right? Three notes. Minor third, flat five. Flat five's a very, very deep note. Flat five, the flat five in the scale scientifically is the exact middle of our 8-tone scale. Okay, the flat five scientifically is the pivot point between major and minor. See, so there's all of these things. So that's pi, right? Pi is the unstable number. Okay, this is Pythagorean. You don't want to do Pythagoras. We're not doing Pythagoras today. We're going to do a major minor third, and then to a flat five.
And what a feeling from Mr. Ernie Watts, yeah? And the thing about it is, as he was speaking about the flat or fifth, and I don't want to talk too much about the technical aspect of this, but I'll play a few things. This feeling, from a very primal standpoint, is basically centered around 5 notes, which we call the pentatonic scale. And when we look at that, now, from an African standpoint, regardless of whether there's a major chord in the major scale would be, the Africans will instinctively go. Now, the chord, from a theoretic standpoint, basically taught in Western music, would be this chord, minor, that minor third. But in the blues, from the Africans and from the European concepts, the angst is not so much with the minor third or the major third. It's the notes and the pitches in between. It's this. If you bend that note all the way up to the major third, it gets too happy. And if you play here, the tension is very relaxed. But when you play between it, so when we speak about blue notes, and oftentimes when at university level and high school, when they speak about these notes, they generally talk about the minor third, the flat seven, or the flat five. We don't hear so much about that microtonality between the minor third and the major third. And from a blues standpoint, very simplistic, very primal, those 5 notes and that shuffle feel. So let's take a look at that. And I don't want to make sure the volume is too loud here. Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. That minor third, bending between, not quite up to the, nah. Yeah. Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. Minor third, major third. Want you to rock me, baby, just like my back ain't got no bone. Rock me, baby. We had to go to Egypt and then on over to Spain just for a little bit, because that's where the Moors travel, you see. Said, I want you to rock me, baby, just like my back was your own. And see, this whole thing that led from rock and roll and from the primal instinct of blues, and he was talking about rock, they weren't talking about Led Zeppelin. They weren't talking about Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, or Eric Clapton. They were talking about that very primal thing of rock me, roll me. That's how the blues gave birth to a whole lot of people and a whole lot of rock and roll. Rock me, baby. And see, the blues is a bottomless pit, it's an endless well, and it's a ceilingless room. Just a little bit of example of that. And when we think about rock and roll and the blues, the rock and roll is just the blues sped up and played louder. And what jazz did was, as Ernie said, it brought a lot of chromaticisms into it, yeah? And we got a little more sophisticated. That's Ernie's flat five.
Devil's Note. That was called the Devil's Note.
There you go. Thank you.
The flat five in classical music is called the Devil's Note. It's the dreaded tritone.
Okay, I think this is such a great folks up here. I'm going to ask them if I can do a song a cappella, and if you don't mind, yeah, because I don't have anything to really make it work. I wish I could play like this, yeah, but and I don't have a sign of music, so I'm going to just sing for you, okay? It's a song that was written by a wonderful young man from the UK, and it's called Strong, Strong Medicine, okay? I'm going to try to do it with my own, okay. Way down on the bayou, they've been cooking up a voodoo stew, y'all. Passing it on to the bouteilles, the nevils, and the meters, and the wild magnolias too. Yeah, they got enough for everybody, and it's good enough for me and you. Now check it out, y'all. I said it's strong, strong medicine, cooking for 500 years, 500 years. Why, it's a fuel of fire and blood and flames, full of hopes and dreams and fears. Yeah, it'll make you move your body, take you to the river, wash away all your fears. Now you can stop running water, but you sure can't turn back the time. Yeah, that moving finger tells it all, and it moves on down the line. Yeah, it's too much, and I gotta get up. I'm gonna put it up and tell you now. Oh, yeah, yeah, strong, strong medicine.
So we might as well open it up to questions and answers. So I think there's mics in the two aisles, about a third of the way back. So please, students first, by all means, if you have some questions for our panel, please approach one of the mics.
I'm sure it's been pointed out many times before when we talk about the impact of European on African and so forth. And when Tati was singing, she was singing in iambic pentameter couplets. She was singing in the language of Shakespeare. And I wonder what you say about that. The fact that that just happens to be a lot of blues lines, iambic pentameter. Thank you.
Well, actually, the blues don't really give a about Shakespeare, or pentameter, pentagrams, and diagrams, and any of that. I'd like to simplify it for you a little bit. That every culture has its songs of woe, dismay, trial. For some reason, the world has, Africa has its songs of woe, Japan. The world has embraced the Americans of African descent's expression of that. Now, I don't know exactly why that is, but no matter where you go in the world, you hear the blues from America. You hear songs of woe and strife from America. It's embraced in every culture. But if we hear songs of dismay from Japanese, Koto music, or even Irish songs, they're not embraced globally as this genre of music labeled blues. And I have no idea why that is, but that is our reality.
But when you hear them, you know that people are emoting some type of grief. You know, it's like Vasti's saying, every country has, every language has their sound of woe. And I think we all recognize that in all the countries. And iambic pentameter, let's see, that's the one that goes da 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 da. Right. So that phrasing is a natural phrasing too. You know, so I think you hear that in different types of music all around. If you think about it, da 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 da, it touches the rhythm of the heartbeat. So I think that's what you were thinking about.
What about these kids? Should we defer to them?
Yeah. The kids behind you, sir, if you don't mind stepping back for a second. Sorry. Please go ahead.
I just was wondering, when did blues start, or like, where was it created?
Could you say that again really loud?
Like, what time, like, what year did blues, get created?
What year did blues start?
Maybe?
Was that it?
Yes.
I think it didn't start, it was always there, you know. I think what happened was do you know what being codified means? Well, it means a system is derived from what it was. Blues was originally a feeling, and it wasn't a particular set of chords, it wasn't a particular set of bars, it was just a mood. And one person would do a blues and there would be 5 bars, and another person would do a blues and there would be 20 bars, and it was just this thing. And then when people wanted to do it together, they had to figure out a way they could do it together. And then they came up with a system. And Vasti would know better than me, because I'm coming from the jazz thing, which is Louis Armstrong, which was like in the 20s. And it started to get codified then. You know, I mean, bands had all kinds of instruments. You know, they had banjos, they had flutes, they had tubas, they had like anything they could get. They'd play and they'd make a band. And then I think Duke Ellington, during that period, is when they standardized the size of a big band, which would be 5 saxophones, 4 trumpets, 3 or 4 three or four trumpets, three or four trombones, piano, bass, drums, and guitar. But that didn't get codified until like the 20s. Before then, there was all kinds of stuff in bands. So blues has been around as long as people have been around. People have always had the blues, and they've always emoted that. You know, anytime somebody's sad, and they say, you know, my mother just died and I really miss my mom, and they put it in the form of a song, that's the blues, you know, and that's been going on since Plato or before, you know, as long as there's been people.
Go ahead.
Do you think that in blues, any instrument can be played to show the emotion?
Yes. Yeah, and just to expand on that a little bit, it doesn't have to be an instrument as a traditional instrument, a guitar or a trumpet or a saxophone. And it could be your spoons, it could be the pencils, it could be your books, it could be your mother's skillet and her pot, it could be pop bottles, it could be anything. And you can write your blues if you want. I mean, I woke up this morning, I was late for class, I didn't study for the test, and I didn't pass. Oh, I flunked my test blues.
Go ahead.
Like, this is for any of you guys. If you didn't pick up like blues or jazz, what do you think you'd be doing like with your life?
Singing.
If you didn't pick up blues or jazz, what would you guys be doing like with your life?
Singing R&B.
For me, when I was in school, I was very interested in art, so I was drawing and doing little sculptures and stuff like that. When I went and started in music, I went on the lunch break at our school because the music department had instruments to lend, and I went with a friend of mine, and he wanted a saxophone, and I figured I'd try trombone because I had seen the Glenn Miller story on TV, you know, and I thought it would be fun. And I got to the music department, and they were all out of trombones, and I got a baritone saxophone because I was tall for my age, and the teacher figured I could carry it in marching band, you know? And that's how I got started. You know, but so if I didn't play music, I think I would be doing some other art form. You know.
Like, this is for all of you. Like, what's your favorite blues song?
What's your favorite blues song?
No pain, no gain.
Is that a song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No pain. No gain. What's your favorite blues song?
Stormy weather.
Well, let's hear it.
What's your favorite blues
Yeah.
song? He want everybody.
We have that always in New Orleans. The weather.
Wow. Well, my favorite blues song.
You need to stand.
Yeah. Okay, I need to stand up. Wow. My favorite blues song. I'm going to be very narcissistic here. The next blues song I write will be my favorite blues song.
That's a good one, guys.
I think my favorite blues song is not really a blues song. It's a Lover Man, and it just has this mood, you know, this beautiful blues mood to it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, a lot of you mentioned, like, your parents said blues was the devil's music. What do you mean by that? They forbid you to hear it or something?
I think it was because of it. The blues itself is not the devil's music. The blues is just music. But it was the place where people went to hear the blues. And it was about what the people did at the place where they went to hear the blues. And the rest of it, you're too young to, you're not ready for that yet.
What happens where the blues perforce stays there.
Right. Right. But there- there's also one other side to this that actually precedes that, and that is that the sound of this of what was before it was labeled the blues it was jungle music. It was noise to the plantation owners and the slave owners. So when they heard this type of rhythm, it was a sound of rebellion. It was a sound of secretive communication. And the primal aspect of this and jazz, before jazz was called jazz, was something that was feared by the dominant culture because it was a means by which the slaves could communicate without the slave masters, plantations owners, knowing what they were communicating. So when we go back before Elvis Presley, there was a thing where they were called race records. They did not want their young daughters and sons to listen to this Africanized sound because they were afraid that they might be influenced by the rhythm. And so the label of the devil's music is the same label as devil's food cake, which is black, and angel food cake, which is white. So in essence, the black culture and slaves were devils. And this is a little deep, but I think love can only be built on truth. So the devil's music was not so much about Satan in the Bible, but about the connotation and the labeling of this culture, of these people, and anything of them, of these savages, is not godly. So that's why the Bible was used as a tool to bring the slaves under the belief and the discipline of Christianity. And outside of Christianity, everything that they did was what? Evil. Absolutely.
It's really interesting. Ma'am, you got a question?
Thank you all for what you've given us this morning. I am a Lillian groupie, and thank you for singing for us today, as always. But also, I had hoped to hear more about your life. So could you tell us a little bit about what, after kindergarten, influenced you towards what you are? And then, with great humility, and maybe to help this young man have an understanding of where the blues began, is there any chance you could do Birth of the Blues? Thank you. Well, that was a quite nice invitation, yeah? Well, yes, I've been doing, since I've been this small, yes, I'm still a little bit that tall. Yeah, I've been doing jazz, and we came into this. This is a area in New Orleans, everywhere. The kids are singing on the streets. They have little boxes of, not boxes, they've got even pans and stuff making themselves whatever it is. Now for me, I've been singing for a long time. You really got me on this one, yeah? Yeah? So you were asking, give me another, because I got a little excited. That's what happened. From kindergarten to, I still have. I've just made my 65 years old, yeah? And for me, God gave me so many great things, and it really is the music. It's definitely the music. And we've got 10 of us, so we've got a little orchestra and we've got a choir all together because they're all singing. The six grandkids, they're all singing. And so we've got a big fan, crew that comes to and listen to what we're doing. And I love what I do. I don't try to make what I can say to many people say, oh, well, we're stars. Well, I don't want anybody to take a wish on my butt up on the sky, yeah? Because that's the first thing that come out is my star, so I don't want to do that. I just believe that every day that God gives to me, I have a song for me to sing. And that's the most important. I don't worry about how it works or how it sounds, but if it's a great thing that goes into your heart, music is something every day. Just this little kid, where is he? Where is he? Yeah, yeah. Because I bet you can sing already. Come on, tell me. Oh, come on. All you gotta say is, oh, nobody loves me. Nobody wants to know. You can sing that. He's only kidding, yeah? I don't believe that. But I love it. Thank you for asking me. Where's my friend? Where's my friend? Thank you because I love you. I love all my audience. I don't know any names for anybody. My mom don't know any of her 10 kids anyway. Because everybody, I know so many people in my life, and all I say is, hi, sweetheart. Hi, honey. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, I know. I understand. My mama, she said, Lynette, Lillian, my mama's girls are Lolette, Lynette, Lillian, Lona, and Lita, and Lenora. And she said, look, you come. And we say, Mom, which one of us, yeah? But this is with music. I think with these kids, I think that you need to just sing. Don't worry about trying to be a Michael Jackson kind of thing, you know, because that's not what's working. No. Just enjoy life, sing, dance, and, you know, and make a lot of music in your heart and in the air. We need it because the way the world is going, we need to keep making it going around. Keep making it going around, yeah? And just enjoy yourself. God bless you. Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
All be kind enough to share your music, your song, your hearts with us. We'd love to hear you play a little bit more, if you would, please.
Please, you guys do something and we'll play with you. Yeah, do one of your things. Do one of your things. Do one of the things you feel good about.
Wait, no, I heard that first one. Once I lived the life of a millionaire, spending my money and I didn't care. Carried my folks out for a mighty good time, giving bootleg liquor, champagne and wine. Then I began to fall so low. Didn't have a friend and no place to go. But if I wait, okay. I'm sorry, I got to talk to my chorus. Wait a minute. Yeah. But if I get my hands on a dollar again, I'm gonna squeeze it and squeeze it until that ego grins. 'Cause nobody wants you. No, when you're down and out. Now, in my pockets, I got no pennies, oh, and all of my so-called friends, you know I haven't any. But when I get back on my feet again, yeah, everybody wanna be my long lost friends. Yeah, it's mighty strange without a doubt, 'cause nobody knows you when you're down and out. Don't let it be you.
We got a couple more questions here. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Master, I really liked what you were saying about bending the notes and getting in between the notes, and also
for that particular tension, for the piano, a lot of times, and I hear the use of just technically minor seconds, and this brings a great tension. So I'll stay in E. So you can't bend them, but you can play very close harmonies that create a lot of tension. And when I say any particular instrument, I literally mean that. You know what I mean? Because you can. So, I mean, I wouldn't be a beatbox guy, a rap guy, but, back in the day, rap is not new. Whether we had Lewis Jordan, and we had those people, and we've always had the thing where people were doing the ham bone slapping on their legs. There were rhythm instruments that were pitched, bones from animals, going all the way back to people, in the caves. So you live your life in sound. That's where the music come from. I think life dictates the sound of culture, and it's not necessarily limited to, let's say, someone's design of a standardized instrument. Your sound can be unique to you, and we see that happen all over the world. We hear something, wow, I haven't heard anything like that before, and you hear this from rap and hip-hop, where the guys didn't have formal instruments like guitars, saxophones, so they took turntables when they had records, and they scratched, and they rapped over the vamp of a song. So what you use what you got to get what you need.
Go ahead.
All right. So earlier, Ernie mentioned that his influences in his life was John Coltrane. And so I was wondering, to all of you, what are some influences, musical or otherwise, in your life that have helped you grow and evolve as musicians?
For me, it's a continuous learning experience. So everybody I hear influences me. Everything I hear, I relate to. So now, we're here, we're doing this music, I'm listening to this, and this is a part of me. When I go out, it's, I hear what's going on, and I hear other people, and I hear other bands, and I'm influenced by that. Music is your expression of life, it's experiential. So all of the experiences that we have in our life have a relationship to our music. We play what we are. All of these things come into us, and then our music goes out, and it's in relationship to all of these experiences that we've had.
Well, I actually was trained classically. I thought I was going to be an opera singer until I started going to their gigs, and I said, no, I don't want to sing that kind of music. I want to do that, So I actually went the opposite way because most of my family was singing jazz and traditional New Orleans music. I went and formed my own R&B funk band, and I played on Bourbon Street for 15 years, playing cover music and R&B, and then being picked up singing background with different people. And then I decided that the R&B just wasn't for me no more. But I'm not gonna say no more. It was time to do something else and add some more to my repertoire. So I started making myself diverse, and I had a versatility. I was able to do jazz, I was able to do R&B, I was doing reggae, I was doing rock. I sing background now with AJ Coche, and that's totally a whole different type of music that I'm used to. But it's expanding my repertoire, everything. It's expanding my world to music now, and then I get to be on a stage with people like Vasti and Mr. Watts, and this is like an honor to me because I'm the baby. So I get to put this on my paper and say, oh, I was on the panel with all these great people, you know. I learn something every day. I learn something new from a musician. You never know everything. Every day you're gonna learn something different. You're gonna learn something new. And in my book, somebody always brings something different to the table. I never think I'm better than anybody else, and I never think somebody else is better than me. I always think that they can bring something different and I can bring something different, and maybe we can do it together if we come together. I never want to compete against anybody, and I love singing, so the thing for me is let me do me and you do you. You know, and maybe, hopefully, we can blend and it sound really good together. I don't ever want to overshadow somebody else, and if I feel like I'm being overshadowed, then I just step back a little bit and then just try to gracefully bring myself back to with that person, you know. But I don't know, it's just that music to me is everything. And I don't limit myself to one thing. I actually let myself learn a little bit of everything. So, I mean, blues is one thing, but I started off as a classical singer, then I went into the R&B, then I went to the jazz, but I don't classify myself as anything but a singer, you know. So I'm a singer. That's when they ask me what I sing. I sing. That's it, you know.
Well, folks, I'm sorry to say we are out of time, and I know. Well, go ahead, ma'am. Ask one last question.
Why is it that traditional American jazz is more appreciated in Europe? Jack Teagarden, Bessie Smith, Jelly Roll Morton. Why is it more appreciated in Europe than it is here in the United States? I'm talking about traditional jazz.
You know, it's really funny because a lot of people don't quite understand it. I think that the American musicians that did traditional jazz, they got over into Europe quickly. I think maybe it was from the services, the armed services. We have a lot of folks from America that stayed in Europe, you know, and that's where a lot of the folks brought the jazz back in. And these people, I mean, all Teagarden, all of these great folks, all of in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, all the elderly guys, they still are around there and making their music. But as you said, it's really something that I think many people need to understand what you're saying, because it's really true. Yeah?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all attending. Thanks to our panelists who did a fantastic job. And we'll see you later. Thanks.